I wanna be rich.
Karibuni to the Tumesota podcast, episode 5, and welcome to February. January is officially over. As you can see, I'm in red because Valentine's Day is coming up, and today's episode, the theme is to do with relationships and money and more of where that came from. For now, you're with me, Amira, your favorite impulsive spender.
Pauline, your indecisive saver.
And Abigail, the disobedient budgeter. And this is the Tumesota podcast. Tumesota lakini.
Tunamoka! Ding, 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 ding.
So yeah, last week or the last time we shot rather, we had a very good episode 4, turning your passion into pesa. And have you started figuring out your passions? Have you, for us, this was our passion, and we woke up and decided, no, we didn't actually wake up. It took months.
Thank you for the correction.
It took months of waking up to prepare for this, and we are finally doing it. So have you figured out what you can do to turn your passion into pesa? And yeah, we had a great time with Susie Wakabi. She's such a vibe, by the way, if you didn't watch it. And yeah,
tune in, go and watch it.
Tune in, yeah.
Go and watch it. Well, without further ado, guys, as much as January is over and we're so excited, Tume jam!
Every time you say Tume jam, it's high pitch. Tume jam!
It almost sounds like you're not jamming at all.
No, me, I'm always jamming. So let's not start with me because you already know me. I have enough jam energy. Let's start with the least likely to jam. Hey, Abby, tell us. Give it to us.
Hey, I think there's nothing that has made me question my 3 years rather in school, at this point, because I have a research paper I'm supposed to write. And it's funny how I have no idea what I want to write. I have none whatsoever. So I'm just like, kwani, what have I been doing for these 3 years? Or no, it's 4. Yeah, now what have I been doing?
So you're jamming up. You made yourself jam.
Yeah, because I'm just like, kwani, what have I, why can't I be decisive? Why?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Abby is actually doing much better than me today because I'm really trying to think about something that has made me jam this week, and I'm not getting. Maybe the microphone's refusing to work today. Yeah, Amira, just take it off.
She's at peace. Wow.
I'm actually at peace.
Wow.
Amen.
So me, I'm also like Abby. I've made myself jam, guys. My hairline has made me jam. So if you look at episode 1 and 2, you can see I had these long braids, and usually I do long braids. It wouldn't be me if it wasn't long braids, But I never have edges problems. But for some reason, that hairstyle took my edges out. I was in course and I was looking at some of the pictures I took from side angles, and I'm like, wow, I can't even, those braids are hanging on by a thread. There's no edge control that could save them. And then when I come back, my mom tells me I'm bald. She's just like, excuse me, you're bald. What happened? And then I go to the salon to do my new hairstyle, and they're like, what happened? Are you okay? And I'm like, goodness, do I have alopecia or something? So my hairline has made me jam, and I couldn't even braid it in full. If you're watching, you can probably see that my edges are not the best because I'm balding. But God will restore them the same way He'll restore my pockets. So I'm hopeful. Hopefully I'll give you an update next episode. But for now, you just have to enjoy the bald spot which I've tried to hide. So that's why I'm jamming.
There's a very good percentage. There's a very high chance that people would have never noticed. But now that you've said it, people are just going to zoom into it. Anyway, try to ignore Amira's edges, and let's focus on today's topic, which Amira had said is friendship, relationships, and money. Yeah. So
we're not PS. We're not talking about the loves. I mean, we're talking about girl love.
Platonic.
Girl love.
Yeah. Platonic.
Platonic.
Relationships. Anyway, so the three
in the context of friendship.
Yeah. the three of us are friends. I don't know if you know the backstory of our relationship, so to say. We all met in church. Yes. And Abi and I were friends. Amira and I were friends. Abi and Amira. The other time, there was a huge argument about Abi. Abi said, Amira, hi and Amira are friends because they used to say hi. And Amira was like, I say hi to Boda guys.
It doesn't mean that.
It doesn't mean they're friends anyway. So they were.
You caught that comment.
I remembered. I remembered.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah. So that's then what happened? Then the podcast happened, and we're all friends. Oh, and by the way, I actually almost forgot to say. The reason why I'm dressed like this is because I'm wearing gifts from the two of them. I just needed to say.
Ding, 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 ding,
Yes.
ding. Unfortunately, as we don't have gifts to wear from her, but yeah.
I have. This is from Amira and this cut is from Abi. Yeah, just for your knowledge. Anyway.
For those listening, go head over to YouTube so you can see what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, sorry for the listeners. So what we're talking about today is just about friendship and vulnerability when it gets to money and everything that comes around or goes around money and friendship.
Yeah.
And so today we just want to talk about why it's important to be vulnerable in your friendship in regards to money and just trusting each other and having having the opportunity to have friends who you can be able to be accountable to. Be accountable to, and also grow each other in regards to your finances, in regards to growing your assets, in regards to just everything, being real with each other. So there's something I want to talk about that trust equation, and Amira will take us through it.
Yeah, so you guys, as Abi said earlier in the intro, this has been months in the making, the podcast. And as we were getting to know each other as we were doing the podcast, you guys remember we started having coaching sessions. And in those coaching sessions, we had to really get vulnerable about our friendship because our chemistry, our vibe, how we relate is a big part of how the podcast is and is going to continue to function. And so Coach Anima, who is in episode 1, shameless plug, talked to us about this thing called the trust equation, and that in every relationship you have with whoever, there needs to be a form of trust, especially if you're building friendships. And so the trust equation is very simple. It is trust equals vulnerability plus reliability plus credibility. So being vulnerable, being open, being willing to share, because if I'm vulnerable with you, you can be vulnerable with me. But if I'm being very closed and guarded, it becomes, why would I want to open up to someone who's not opening up? Like you say to somebody, hi, fine. Okay, if you ask me hi, I'll also just say fine.
It's like those friends they know everything about you, but you know nothing about them.
Yeah, I don't know, I couldn't have friends like that. But yeah, exactly. And then reliability. I'm going to be I'm coming for lunch at 4 p.m. Then you come at 6. Every time you're coming at 6. As in, be reliable, keep your word. If you don't like something, keep your word. If you can see like I'm going bald, don't just be like, your edges are nice. You're not being reliable. How am I supposed to be able to trust you? And then credibility. So reliability and credibility are somehow similar. But just being a credible friend, like I can count on you. I tell Pauline something, she's not gonna go and tell, the next person. It stays with us. So if you look at an equation, even in maths, sometimes you're better at some things than others. Like I would say for me, for sure, out of those 3 components, vulnerability is probably my strength within the group. You can know my whole Wikipedia life story without issues.
Oh, yes.
Every time. I don't know what it is for you. Like, what would you say is like your strongest, or weakest?
Let me say my weakest because it's the most obvious. Vulnerability. Vulnerability is my weakest. I think I'd say my strongest is credibility. I don't want to say reliability because I know my timekeeping is... it's questionable. Yeah, I leave it at that. Amira just
and
my memory. Yeah,
mine is just reliability, because I think I'm able to like show up. I'm able to like remind you. I'm able to like me. I'm just that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of us are working on vulnerability, whilst others are working on credibility, whilst others are working on reliability.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think when it was broken down to us like that, it helped us see, wow, it made it so clear what areas we need to work on. And also, it also translates into relationships with money. Yeah.
So as we focus on the trust equation, we just want to ask, so why do you think people find it scary to be vulnerable or to talk about money and money issues? Should I start?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Personally, and I think English.
What did your English teacher do?
I corrected myself. My English teacher would have been woof. Anyway, so I think with this internet era, people have really shown their lives on the internet, finding it scary, especially if you cannot live up to that, like the standards being set by maybe the people you follow, even your friends who are more well off than you. If you can't live up to that standard, then you sort of feel ashamed, is that the word to use, or embarrassed about your money situation, and you prefer to keep it within you and not talk about it. So I'd blame the internet for that, but I'd just pretty much leave it at that, actually.
I think for me, it's so funny you're saying that. I just remembered a quote I saw today, this week, and it says, one of the biggest myths in the world is that money makes you better than someone else. It doesn't mean you're smarter. It doesn't mean you're more talented. It doesn't mean you're more happier. It doesn't mean you work harder. It just means you have more money. And I think that sometimes, even just to add to your point, people assume that the status of money that you have is an indication of smartness, how hard you worked, how much maybe you even prayed, how close you are with your God. Some people really believe that, like, you're mocked because you're in right standing with God, and you're suffering because there's something you did wrong or your family members did wrong, or like you're better. So if people equate money with being better than another person, so then it's like, if my worth is on money, then I'm not gonna share. I'm not gonna say anything. Okay, that's just to add to your point. But I also think there's a lot of misconception about money also. Like, people assume that things equals money. So for example, it can, like, for me, in my case, I've experienced difficulty with vulnerability because when it comes to money, because somebody will look at you and feel like, oh, you live in this area, or oh, you have this car, that you can't possibly have these things. So even to ask, someone would be like, Amira, why are you even asking? You're the one who should even be helping so and so. So I feel like people almost also judge before even getting to know you. So then you just feel like, okay, you've already made your conclusions, you've already decided it's like this, so let me keep to myself.
And I think also that when you end up borrowing people money, there's that tendency, it's called what? Selective amnesia. People have selective amnesia when you borrow money, So you've given somebody money today, they say they'll return in the evening or tomorrow. The evening comes, tomorrow comes, it goes, a month goes.
Surprisingly.
Like, it's almost, people have selective amnesia, and I think that's why it gets to a point you're just like, you know what, I'd just rather not ask. And because you also don't ask, sometimes you also say, I'd rather not give also.
Yeah.
Because you see, you're not borrowing anyone, so there's no need for me to give anyone, because I mean, wacha kila mtu akae na shida zake basically.
So Abby has just queued in the next question, which is, have you ever had any fights over money?
Specialty.
Hey,
Spicy.
This I've just transferred my Tume jam to this question. Anyway, so one time I lent someone money, and it was a lot of money.
Can you just tell us the amount? Because maybe
11 G's. Guy, my parents will faint.
They don't even.
How old were you?
How old was I?
And was it their money?
No, it was my money.
Okay.
It was last year.
Hey.
So I lent someone money, and that person was in a very devastating situation, and of course I felt empathetic, and I was just like, let me sort this friend out. Let me tell you, as Sheila says. Hey, not even selective amnesia. It's those ones for
She left.
It's a he.
Woo!
Like, I'll send
First
you.
of all,
I'm just waiting for my money to come on. I'll give you today, on Tuesday. Tuesday comes. I'm like, no communication. Actually, that's what pissed me off, kabisa. Because when you tell me that this is the time that you're giving, you'll be paying me back, I expect you to communicate.
Right.
So when you don't,
you shouldn't be the one following up,
I shouldn't be the one
chasing,
following
and you're the one who lent. And they'll know how to blow up your phone when they ask.
Oh,
but conveniently so.
They even have credit to call you.
Hey.
When it's their time to pay, there's no bundles. There's no bundles, no phone calls, as in even no texts, nothing. So we continued like that. I think it was how many months before we fully paid. He fully paid me back. Maybe, I think like 4 months. For real. 4 months of him telling me on Tuesday, on Saturday, on Friday, and then now I have to call him and ask him, please, can you give me a date when you're sure, instead of you telling me this date, and then this date comes, you don't talk to me, nothing. He's like, no, you see, I can't tell you. And I'm like, but you're the one who told me on Saturday. Today is Saturday. You've not talked to me. I'm even giving you grace period. I don't want to talk to you on that Saturday. I talk to you on Tuesday next week. On Tuesday, when you're talking to me, it's like now we are fighting over my money.
Right?
That I sat,
my sweat and blood
I used to
tears.
work in Syokimau those days. I was... Anyway, yeah.
And just to go back, those are things that affect the trust equation. Now, unfortunately, if somebody needed 11K, even if it's not that person, Pauline will be skeptical because of that experience. And that is why you guys can call me Thara, but me, when you borrow money, tunafanya contract. Hey, let me tell you, there's somebody who borrowed me in August 25K, so that their brother does not go to jail. And I was very curious. This is somebody I'm very close with, and it seemed very, very genuine. So she borrowed. But we had a contractual agreement. Now the interest was returned to me with 30K. So, and she had a whole month. But on the day, my account, it was there. Now that person, I'm not gonna expose you, but you are somebody who we can even consider the borrowing relationship again, because she kept her word, she followed the protocol, and she respected what it took also on my side. And I think it has to be mutual respect, because you can call someone's phone when you need it and then you just disappear. I also feel like that's very tasteless, honestly. Yeah.
There's a time I borrowed. There's a time somebody made me borrow from these apps.
Huh?
From
like Fuliza.
Me. Can never be me.
Like if Fuliza for somebody.
Like Tala.
Tala. Yeah.
Oh.
No, but like you do it for somebody.
Yes. They were like, hey, I'm in need. I'm like, I also don't have. They're like, see, you have Tala. I'm like, but yeah. So I was just feeling like, because it was also an empathetic situation. I was just like, okay, it's fine as long as you'll return. Hey, watch out, the day comes to pay. Watch out, the guy doesn't. Why does it have to be the guys? Anyway, the guy doesn't. He doesn't pay. So that means at least at the time I was still working. So at least I got the chance to like repay. But it also reminds me of another friend of mine. Now this is not a personal story. The way you can zoya borrowing each other, like every time I'm coming to Pauline or I'm coming to Amira, I'm just constantly we have a casual borrowing relationship
with no accountability.
With no accountability, and it's like because I took 50 bob from you this time, if like I take 100 bob from you this time, it's fine. Like, you know, it's just there's no problem. So it reached a place, and this other friend now got responsibilities, bigger responsibilities, and money started becoming a
they couldn't just give out
situation. Yes, and because this now me, because I'm used to borrowing you guys with it's just casual. When you ask me back this time for money, I'm like, I can't even count how much I've given you and just let you be with it. And now it's like, why you asking me? And I think that's something that happens a lot.
The lack of boundaries.
Yes, you just end up boring each other. It's a casual relationship until when I have to ask, and I'm like, do you even know how much money I've given you, like, for you to be asking me?
Yeah. Like, I think
I'm not getting that story. So when the other party got responsibilities, so
money became
it's nikama we're borrowing, all of us, we're borrowing, then and we're not giving each other accountability. Then all of a sudden, because of how tight my money is, I need it back. I now give, but I ask for it back, and it's like, but all these times we were just borrowing casually.
Yeah. Oh wait,
why do you want to be
when they're giving each other, they weren't asking the money back.
See, I've given you. So I've given you. So now when you get responsibilities, when you're like, hey baby, you see that's ka 500 I gave you last time, I need it back, and you're like, eh?
But okay, I have an issue with that though. Why didn't she communicate that she needed it back before she gave her? Because that's my problem.
Communication. Yeah. This is what helps credibility and reliability. And I think even with borrowing, if you have to borrow, because sometimes it happens, keep your circle small. Like me, literally, I'm not gonna sit here and say I still don't borrow from my parents. I do.
You do.
From our financial support group, but it goes on the tab of the podcast, so it's very like accountability. It's not like a team. Excel sheet. You put the screenshot on the money group, like, we don't play. But like, I personally also, if you can, avoid loans, because sometimes it can be very tying, and you should have friends you can rely on, but don't make your pool wide. Make it a circle that you really have established the boundaries, because sometimes you fall into those situations. Me, I was in a situation where, I just have to add this one about borrowing, because it just has to be said. This person doesn't communicate, like, as a regular, like, generally. Like, they don't text. You know me, I'm a texter. I like emojis and things like that. So, this person doesn't even text at, hi, how are you, checking up. Usually, it's me who initiates. And, I told you guys I'm done with 80-20 friendships in 2021. Hi. I'm the one who has to always initiate. Sometimes I usually feel bad when especially if you're in a different life season. Like, for example, if I'm a kid, I'm younger, I usually feel like, okay, then it's my responsibility. Or if I don't have kids, you have kids. Anyway, this person barely communicates, actually barely. Only when they need something. So this time, it was a time when I also felt like it was an urgent thing. Anyway, Sasa Mish, hi, how are you doing? So you sent me 5K.
This is about to be one salty topic.
I was like, sure, because I was looking at that. I'm like, sure, send. When can I expect it? When can I expect that we agreed the date? The date comes, I'm still the one calling, and it still comes a day later or hours later. For me, that, like, the same with Pauline. Just honor your word, especially if you've been given a time. Like, if I'm not even asking for it at tea, I'm asking you for money, and then I'm asking it for like a same day return. But if we've actually agreed, I think it was 5 days or something, or a week. It wasn't like immediate. And I just remember. I gave her the date. I told her, please choose the date that you want to choose, so that the person owns it, so that it's not me giving you the date and then you have pressure. You choose the date that you know you. So you even chose the date, and then I'm still the one calling you.
People just need to honor their word. Stop.
And that story hasn't even ended there. But because of the purposes of the next topic, the next question, I'll leave it there. But, yeah. I just want to say that.
I just want to add before we go to the next question. I think, I don't know if you follow us on Instagram, there's a week we are doing financial toxic traits and financial superpowers, and my superpower is actually not borrowing money because of this whole situation. Because
people even say you shouldn't even borrow with friends.
If I can get to a point where I even let me fuliza myself. I owe myself, I owe Safaricom. I owe Safaricom and myself money other than someone else, because I really don't like chasing issues. People.
Same.
I hate it.
I hate
I wouldn't want
money.
To be chased also.
Yeah.
On to the next one. Have you lost a friend because of this money situation? I personally, I drift with a lot of people.
That's a whole other podcast episode.
Abi and Amira can talk about this. I drift quite a bit, but I tend to think that the main reason why I and the guy that I talked about in this story aren't friends now is because of that situation. I can fully say that's the reason why we are not friends anymore, because we might not talk. I'm those people who don't text as much, but even if we don't text, I still hold you close as a friend. Like you still know we are together, but for that specific person and that specific story, I can fully say that money story is what caused all this. Yeah, unfortunately.
Now me, after the borrowing situation, like the one who made me borrow, and I was just like, hey, you know what? From now henceforth, I think I'll just not give. And let me also copy from the apps. Let me do that. So as Pauline said, let me owe myself. Let's just let it be my business, and
between you and your God.
Yeah, between me and my God. Safaricom will not have issues. So I don't think I've ever lost a friend over money, but it definitely put me off. But I didn't lose him.
I don't think I've ever lost a friend. I think if we're no longer friends, then it was God protecting me, honestly. and honestly, it's their loss if I'm not there.
Oh my goodness.
I'm a great friend. I'm many things that are not right about me. There's some things that are off, but you can even ask these guys. I'm an entertaining friend to have. Losing friends. You guys even yesterday we didn't sleep because of my entertainment.
Because of your life.
Yeah, anyway, losing friends because of money. I personally have made a decision long time ago that there's no amount of money worth fighting over. I have this deep belief that God sees everything and he always provides. So I don't think I can ever, even in this group, even if someone owed me a huge amount, it would reach a point where I've talked about it once, twice, I'm not talking about it again. I can't, even if it's money that's owed to me, there are people who owe me money. It's just like, and a lot of it, I'm just like, you know what? Nisawa. Because I'm not about to chase an adult who's over 18 who knows they have money that they owe. But they're not saying anything about it. Kwanzaa, there's even somebody who owes me money, and the last time I saw them, they were complaining about money that was owed to them, and I'm just like, selective amnesia is so real. So I just made a commitment not to really fight over it. So if things end up drifting, it's almost like the situation did it to itself, or they did it to themselves. And maybe that was their plan all along, because it could have easily been avoided. Honestly.
So are there any tips you have over how to avoid fights over money?
Don't. I think keep your word for one.
Yeah.
Trust equation.
With people's money. Keep your word and communicate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like really, really communicate, because at the end of the day, you see, you'll. It's not like the problems for money will isha today. No, yes. You'll need to borrow again, probably. And you see, probably the one person who could have helped you is the one who you didn't communicate
messed up with.
Yeah, so just communicate, because you never know when again you'll have that problem. So just communicate and
communicate. The trust equation helps. Use it, apply it. It works. I also think, if you're on the lending side, if someone comes to you and says, this is my time frame, I've had this happen to me. You say, give me till January, but they're still calling you in December. So that you don't have the full scope. Let somebody, if you've given somebody 5 days, let it be the 5 days. Don't now start calling them 2 days. Hello, where is it? You gave me 5 days. So even me, please, give me the full extension. And I also think that they say also, when you lend, be prepared to sometimes lose also. Sometimes you don't get it back. Let's just be real. Sometimes you don't get it back. Sometimes there are people who just, even if they wanted to, they can't give it back. So sometimes you just have to be like, I'm giving you, and know in your heart, it's not coming back.
It's gone.
Which is such a bad thing, because I think, anyway, I just can't imagine having to lose money after you made an agreement with someone. yeah, it's just,
no, but as in don't make it an agreement. Just say, Shika, you don't have to pay. Like, just
you don't. Yeah. Like, if you can give,
but you see, there's also that courtesy of like, there's. Okay, use the right terminologies and say, like, if I'm supposed to like give it back to you, say I'll give it back to you. And if you're borrowing to keep, just say
money.
No, if I'm not rudishing, just say like, there's another terminology probably you can use, like
you can do like, by the way, I'm not in the best place right now. I don't know if I can really pay this off, but I really need this or something.
Exactly.
And also, if you're borrowing, especially large amounts, and somebody asks you, don't get offended. I think people also get offended when you ask, so what is it for?
Pauline and Awasho. I'm in Mars. How can you borrow me money and tell me that you're not in a place to rudisha it? I mean, it's for me to say, you've come to me to borrow me money. I tell you, and you're not in a good place, just keep it. I'm not understanding how you have them. You're coming to borrow me, then you have the entitlement to say that you say, how audacious can you be? No way.
Okay, this is what I mean, yeah? Okay, forget about, even if the person doesn't say it, sometimes you as the lender have to just be like, for example, if I come and tell you, my mom has passed away, and this situation is hard, or I don't have money for the funeral, blah, blah, blah. Can you help me with this? Because I need to pay my rent. Then you just say, take 10k, Nisawa. Don't even.
That's the English I want. That's the English that I'm looking for.
See, that's what I'm saying. Use the right terminology.
You as the lender, or you as the borrower?
The borrower needs to
be like, okay, like,
I don't have, I'm really not in a good place right now.
Yeah, and then
yes. With a good heart I say,
so Pauline,
it's okay.
wants to say, if I told you, Pauline, I'm lacking food, you'll give me money and expect me to
No, you're not understanding. What I'm saying is, you can't, when you come to borrow me money, and then you borrow me money, and I know you're not in a good place. Okay. As a good friend, and I know you're really not in a good place, and you tell me, and I'm really not in a good place, then I'll tell you, that's okay, you can just have it. I'm doing, I'm quite okay right now.
No, that's what I was talking about.
But you borrowing me money, and then you still say that, can I keep all of it? I mean,
the audacity. Can I borrow? Can I take? You should just say, can I take?
1 + 1 is like 13. It's not 2. It doesn't make sense to me. Anyway.
No, but just to add that, also when you're borrowing, and like if you ask me, Amira, can I have 5k for something, and I ask you what's the something, don't get offended.
Oh yes.
Let me ask you. I should be able to ask you what's the something, and you can even tell me, by the way, I borrowed. This is what I did here. Pictures even. This is how the money was used.
Evidence.
You can't get offended, because when we do, like when I've done fundraisers, you always now show the funders where the money went to be credible, because you might ask them next time. So if you ask for money and then you're like, for something, it's just for something, you can't even tell me. Hey,
personal.
Humble yourself.
Hey, okay, fire extinguisher. To end this point that was very feisty, if you can avoid borrowing the money, avoid.
Yeah, pretty much avoid.
Go
into your savings even if you have to. Because some people also do that. They don't want to touch their savings, so they'll rather borrow.
Yes.
What are your savings for? They're also for rainy days. Borrow. Borrow from your savings.
We'll never finish.
As we finish. Hey, this was
spicy.
As we finish, what would the three of us say are the things that we've had to give up in order to put our friendship first, just before the money, still respect each other in regards to the different places we are financially, because we are all in different places financially. So what are the things that we've had to give up in order to keep our friendship first, then still support each other financially and help each other grow? You get it?
I get it. Me, I would say when we first started this, we had to give up what we maybe thought of each other from out, like just seeing each other around, and choose to learn each other afresh from our own words, and make it a safe zone and a no judgment zone. Because if there's no safety, if there's no space to really share how you're really doing, then we were not going to be real, and then this can't be a real podcast because we're not even real with each other first. So we had to give up the whole ego and just preconceived maybe assumptions or thoughts of each other, especially when it came to money, so that we could be real with each other now in the group. That's what I would say.
For me, I'd say I think it's the vulnerability bit, because I'm one of those people. If I'm close to you, I'm really like close to you, and if I'm not close to you, there's no way I'll talk to you. Akina siko ba.
Yeah, today. Hey. All right. But siko bad.
But as it has been said so many times before, Pauline and I were friends, Amira and I were not that close of friends. And you see, that is the typical situation of like, I wouldn't have talked to Amira about my finances had it not been for this group, or had it not been for the friendship that we have right now. So I think it that's what I had to give up. Because now I have to incorporate someone new into my life, and not treat them as if I am.
She's just a passerby.
The Boda guy.
I'm never going to leave that.
I'm not going to. Hey. Yes. If you don't know about the Boda guy, go to our comments. You'll read. You'll see. Yeah.
I think for me it's also majorly vulnerability. I was trying to think about something else, but I think being vulnerable and reliable has been the biggest aspect. I think working and just launching the podcast, running errands, we had to
learning experience.
It was a learning experience for us, even financially. I mean, and geographically for Amira. But we really had to be at the point where if I don't have money, I don't have money. Sure. And if because there's a point where Amira was one who was fluid and I wasn't, and I was fluid and Amira wasn't.
So and Abi had to sort us for like we've all had to come through.
Abi was the one who to sort out us for something. Yesterday my phone had died. Amira was in a meeting. Abi was the only one who had money to buy things we were using for today. And we're wondering, how will we do it? And you see now, in that situation, if one of us decided to like stay with it and say that this is my money, I'm not going to use it, then we wouldn't have had a solution for today. We wouldn't have had a solution for what we'd have done.
Yeah.
But we've just had to to trust each other, and also to be very real with each other and say, I'm the one who's fluid. Please just sort us for today. Then write it down. I mean, Excel very fast. Then you say, Kwanza, we have you should see our column, person who paid. Person who sorted. So it's very, you see now, just
very systematic.
Yeah, it's very systematic and also quite accountable, to be honest. Yeah, that was a really nice
I
and
feel like
entertaining.
Any remaining issues I had with people in 2020, now they're completely gone. I've gotten it off.
You're done.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, so thank you so much for watching this. Before we finish, of course, you know we have to give you that challenge or a tip today.
First of all, do you remember the last week's challenge? Do you guys remember the last week's challenge?
Yes.
Do not do anything. Last episode. Sorry. Do not do anything that you're not completely passionate about. Obviously, sometimes you have to side hustle, which you also talked about. But do what makes you. As in, life is short. If anything, life is short. Do what makes you happy.
In Susie Wakabi's word, she said, make sure you can eat and drink it. Yeah.
And do it even unpaid. If you can't do it and not get paid for it, then you don't love it enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust me, the podcast hasn't paid us yet. But it will.
It's a matter of fact, we're still paying back.
It's so funny because people always ask me, so how are you monetizing?
Everyone asks me that. So how are you planning to make money out of it?
That's none of your business. You just like, can you just subscribe?
Please.
You'll be helping us.
Yeah, please
Can
subscribe.
you like?
Share, comment, follow us on Instagram, all of those. Then you'll see.
Yeah, buy the merch. Yeah.
Or buy masks and sanitizers.
Yeah.
And t-shirts that are coming soon.
Yeah.
Anyway, Abby, take us through the challenge over to you.
Sorry, yeah.
But I feel like we already did by telling people to communicate and not to have selective.
So I reiterate it. Reintroduce.
Ipake mafuta.
Sasa, Macho, don't forget people's money on a very serious note. And if you can avoid borrowing. If you as I said,
in fact, the whole episode was a challenge, really.
Yeah,
really,
true.
Really.
I even feel like I don't even have words for that challenge because we've put it across in all
I think I would just
sectors.
add to that, honestly. I think, it's true. Everything that's been said in the episode, so watch the whole episode, don't skip, is a challenge.
It's pretty much towards the end. So anyone who's watched has pretty much watched.
No, but people also forward and skip.
Oh,
you never
okay.
know. You never know. Just
Sorry.
rewind, listen again. But I would say, financially audit your friends and audit how you are as a financial friend, because you may also be the top. You may also be the problem.
The toxic one.
You may also be the problem, and we've all had moments where we are the problem. We're not gonna sit here and act like we are perfect financial friends, and where we've also experienced problematic ones. So also do an audit, like who are the problematic friends that I need to just or need to talk to, and in what ways can I be problematic financially? Maybe you even need to go and apologize to a few people. Maybe you need to even go and pay a few people. Maybe you need to even go and remind somebody that I know I owe you money, but I don't have it, but it's coming. So just make it right with your friends, or make it wrong, but just know where you stand with the people in your life, I would say.
It's just reminded me the way you can be wanting to borrow, and then you're looking at your contact list and you're like, no one. Absolutely no one. Anyway,
that was such a nice way to end the podcast. Anyway,
we have each other now. Our Valentines. We are each other's Valentines. Do I even have money for Valentines? Anyway, the good thing is you don't have to go in town and see people carrying flowers on that day.
And wearing red.
And feeling that pressure like, hey, I'm in town by myself, no flowers. We are quarantined.
Anyway, we are so happy that we've crossed over to episode 5, and I hope you will catch up with all of them.
Yes.
And as we close out, remember to go on Google Podcasts to listen to our podcast. We are now on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube.
All other popular podcast platforms as well.
Yeah.
Castbox, all Podbean, I don't know, all these.
Like right now, you have no excuse to say you didn't listen because you have what phone you like. It's all over, and you can use it on all laptops and Androids, Apples, all of them.
Apart from Akatululu.
And the quicker you do it, then you ask us how we are monetizing, we'll be able to answer you.
Yeah, and.
And merch coming soon, guys. So please actually follow the challenges. We hope you're enjoying the content. Email us, if you have any feedback, any guest suggestions, any comments. But we've been really enjoying this experience.
Yeah.
Tutaomoka indeed. Yeah.
Indeed.
And with the right people. So God bless you. Happy February. If you're single, you're not alone. You're not alone, okay? Love yourself. You have yourself. You can hug yourself.
Take yourself for Valentine's.
Or save that money. By the way, people who are single, you're saving so much money that weekend. Hey, don't even feel bad.
You don't even
feel bad.
Wow.
Anyway, Tumesota lakini.
Bye.